This segment demonstrates how to assemble the toe spreader. When assembling, do not fully tighten any bolts until you're directed to do so. To begin, press a 1-inch tube plug, part 37, into the hitch tube, part 12. Then press a 1-inch tube plug, part 37, into the ends of both hopper support tubes, parts 4 and 5. Then insert the hitch pin, part 41, and secure it with the hairpin cotter, part 36. Next, align the hitch support tubes, parts 4 and 5, with the hitch tube, part 12, and loosely secure them as seen with 1/4 inch by 3.5 inch hex bolt, part 7, and a 1/4 inch nylock nut, part 32. Then align both hopper braces, part 8, and loosely secure them with 1/4 inch by 3.5 inch hex bolt, part 7, and a 1/4 inch nylock nut, part 32. Now press a 1-inch tube plug, part 37, into each of the hopper support tubes, part 6. Then press a hex flange bearing, part 38, into both of the hopper support tubes. Now slide the hopper support tubes onto the gearbox assembly, part 11. Then align the hitch support assembly and loosely secure both sides with a 1/4 inch by 2 inch hex bolt, part 22, a medium spacer, part 26, and a nylock nut, part 32. Leave the bolts loose for now. Next, slide the cross brace down over the impeller shaft and align it with the hopper support tubes. Then press a 3/8 inch plastic bushing, part 40, onto the cross brace, part 3. Now loosely secure it with 2/4 inch by 2.5 inch hex bolts, part 21, and 1/4 inch nylock nuts, part 32. Leave the bolts loose for now. Then slide the spreader impeller, part 9, down onto the impeller shaft. Now insert an 1/8 inch by 1 1/2 inch cotter pin, part 30, through the spreader impeller and the impeller shaft, and spread both ends of the pin. Next, press the hopper bottom black bushing, part 39, into the hopper. Now, align the hopper and slide it down onto the impeller shaft. Then insert the hairpin agitator, part 31, into the shaft. Next, insert a 1/4 inch by 1 3/4 inch hex bolt, part 23, with a 1/4 inch washer, part 34, and a nylon washer, part 33, down through the hopper and the hopper support tube. Repeat for the other side. Then loosely secure them with 2/4 inch nylock nuts, part 32. Next, slide the grip, part 42, onto the flow control arm. Then ensure the flow control is in the off position. And insert the 1/4 inch by 3/4 inch carriage bolt, part 24, through the adjustable stop, part 25, and align it with the flow control assembly as shown. Next, slide on the nylon washer, part 33, followed by a 1/4 inch wing nut, part 43, and tighten it now. Next, insert 2/4 inch by 1 3/4 inch hex bolts, part 23, with 2/4 inch washers, part 34, through the flow control assembly. Then add 2 more 1/4 inch washers, part 34, and slide the bolts through the hitch tube. Loosely secure it with 2/4 inch nylock nuts, part 32. Leave it a bit loose for now. Now insert the flow control rod, part 10, into the tab of the flow plate as shown. Then rotate it to lock it in place. Then slide the other end into the flow control arm and secure it with 1/4 inch washer part 34 and the 3/32 by 3/4 inch cotter pin part 28. Now align the top of the hopper brace and insert a 1/4 inch by 1 3/4 inch hex bolt part 23 with a 1/4 inch washer part 34 and a nylon washer part 33. Loosely secure it with a 1/4 inch nylock hex nut part 32. Repeat for the other hopper brace. Now fully secure the hitch tube. Then fully secure the hopper support tubes, hitch tube, and cross brace. Next, fully secure the hopper and hopper support tube fasteners. Now, onto the side of the axle with the hole at the end, slide on a large spacer part 27, followed by a 1/2 inch washer part 35. Next, slide on a wheel part 2. Then slide on a 1/2 inch washer part 35. Secure the wheel with an 1/8 inch by 1 1/4 inch cotter pin part 29. On the other side of the axle, slide on a large spacer part 27, followed by a 1/2 inch washer part 35. Then slide on the other wheel and secure it with a 5/32 by 2 inch cotter pin part 44. Next, set the adjustable stop at 5 and move the control handle back against it. Then slide the control bracket along the hitch tube until the flow plate in the bottom of the hopper is open halfway. Now, tighten the bolts and nuts, fastening the control bracket. Make sure not to deform the control bracket. Now, ensure the flow plate will open and close all the way. Readjust if necessary.